Have you ever had a near-death experience? Or perhaps someone you know may have had a near-death experience? Well, if so, we would love to hear your story and have you as a guest on our podcast. For more information, visit NDE.world. Again, that's NDE.world. We would love to hear your story.
Welcome to the NDE World Podcast, where we explore the magical, mystical, and spiritual world of near-death experiences. And now, Ashton Lewis and Daphne Lynn.
Welcome back to the NDE World Podcast. I am your host, Ashton Lewis. In the studio with me today, I have my lovely co-host, Miss Daphne Lynn. Hello, Miss Daphne. How are you today?
I am doing wonderful. How are you?
I'm well. I'm doing.
Or should I say, how you doing?
How I'm doing? I'm doing fine.
Good.
Yeah. So again, this is the NDE World Podcast. For those of you who are just tuning in, welcome. And those who are returning, welcome back.
Yeah.
And for more information, don't forget to visit the website. That's NDE.world. All right. So now on today's episode, we're going to bring a question to you that Daphne had, went on one of the Facebook groups and got some information from. So this isn't an original question. This isn't ours. So we're not taking credit for the actual question itself. But it was a really good question that she found interesting. And what we're going to do, let her, kind of take it over today, and she'll start with the question, and then we'll just kind of talk about it, and give our comments and things like that, and see what we can do. Get a good episode in.
Yeah, I do believe this question actually came from the near-death experience group on Facebook. I'm on there a good bit, and the questions that just really give some good detail for the answers from the NDEers' points of view, from their experience, from their knowing. I like to get those and really save the post and then go through and get the best comments off of it, because it's so enlightening and we can gain a lot of knowledge from this. So, and the question today is a religious-based one, of course, religion versus spirituality. On our website we have our little sections that we can add this one to two separate ones.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So the question is this: I've noticed a lot of posts saying that to achieve anything after our human death, that we have to believe in God and Jesus. Is this the case, and why? I don't believe in any God, and certainly not Jesus. That doesn't make me a bad person. A lot of so-called religious people are horrible people. I don't think a non-believer who could be an honest, helpful person is less deserving than a person who believes in religion just because of a faith. If so, then the concept stinks.
Okay. Well, looks like there's quite a few different elements in there. I mean, do you want to break it down, or what are we kind of focusing on here? What's kind of the direction you feel we want to go? Because there's a few different points that were brought out. What do you got in mind?
Oh, I'm just gonna. I went in and copied the comments on it, so we can just comment on the comments themselves, because I don't want this to be from me. This is from the other NDEers out there that have said, since they have had the experience, can answer this question for this person that answered that question.
Okay. Well, let's set a disclaimer before we get too far, because I notice a part of the questions is, I don't believe in any God, and certainly not Jesus. It says that doesn't make me a bad person.
Exactly.
Now, let me comment on the other side of the coin, okay? Now, there are people who do believe in God, and there are people who do believe in Jesus, and that doesn't make them a bad person either. There are a lot of good people who do have a love for their fellow man, do have a love for God, do have a love for Jesus, and what Jesus stood for, you see. Because ultimately, in the end, it has to do with how we all live our lives, ultimately, so we don't want to, we're not trying to set a disclaimer here and saying that, hey, we're trying to bash people who believe in God or Jesus, because this person here doesn't. But after their experience, they well, not this particular one, but these experiences we're actually going to be sharing. Some people came in with that same kind of thought, but afterwards, maybe they come back believing in, God or believing in Jesus or something like that.
Exactly. I mean, we just don't know what these comments can help the person that asked the question to be enlightened about or to have a greater understanding of. So I think it's a good question, and that the answers I have been over, and it is a lot of good answers.
So pretty much, I guess what the question we're focusing on is you have some people saying that you have to believe in God, or you have to believe in Jesus, or otherwise you have no chance of the afterlife.
Exactly, yeah.
And I've heard people say that as well. If you don't believe in Jesus, you'll be burned and tortured for eternity, which, of course, I don't believe that.
Right, I don't believe that either. So,
well, then let's jump right into it. So you've got quite a few responses here from a lot of different people, and really good comments that you felt was pretty good. It kind of really felt more towards the direction of the question itself. So if you want, we can, whenever you want, just however you want to do it, let me know. We'll go ahead and start looking into them.
Let's just start with the first comment and just read it and then go to the next one. And we'll make our comments in between everything.
Okay, first comment, response to the post.
Yep.
Okay. Would you like me to read it, or would you going to read it? Or?
If you don't mind, yeah, you can.
Sure.
The first one.
I don't believe in God as a being. I am spiritual, but I'm not religious. I believe we all originated from a very beautiful and loving energy, a source where our souls are created. God, quote unquote, is us, and we are, quote unquote, God. We are created from the same place, and we return to it when we leave this planet. Religion is meant to divide people. Religion is what keeps people righteous in their own beliefs and gives people, quote unquote, permission to execute others for not believing the same. I believe there's a source energy that loves so unconditionally that it doesn't give a flying
flip.
It doesn't give a flying flip what religion we believe. They are all man-made anyways. Okay, that's a very good perspective there. I totally understand. In fact, personally, I relate to that. Very
yes,
personally. That's a good comment.
I relate to that as well. And in this comment, I mean, it's something that I've really come to understand lately. And we have episodes on this about, quote unquote, God is us and we are, quote unquote, God. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, we have to really understand that we come from source energy. We come from the Heavenly Father. He blew his breath into humans, so he is in you. Whether you look at it like that or not, he is in you.
And that's
you are
using
him.
a biblical perspective, too.
Exactly, yeah. So there's beauty in these answers. So I like the way this person really said that, that religion is meant to divide people. And right here, that religion is what keeps people righteous in their own beliefs. Mm-hmm. That was beautifully put. I mean, and it's so true.
Yeah, and to go with that, when you really think about it, and when you start looking into the Jesus of history, and even in the Bible as well, he was anti-religion. And in fact, most of the issues he was dealing with the Pharisees and that bunch were all religious fanatics and stuff like that. So he did not favor religion,
Exactly.
And religion does not exist on the other side. And we talk about that. We've covered it here many times, but these NDEs affirm that, or confirm that, should I say.
Exactly.
And so, anyway.
Okay, and then there's one more that I really like, and it's something that I've come to understand and appreciate, too, about that source energy. It says, I believe the person, and I too believe this, that there is a source energy that loves so unconditionally that it doesn't care what religion we believe in.
Exactly. And that sounds like NDE experiences there. They experience that love firsthand, and they come back and say the same thing.
Exactly.
Wow.
That's a very, very good comment to answer the person's question.
Very good. Good job, guys. Those of you who answer these things. Yeah. Thumbs up. And
yay.
Okay, so let's pick up the next one here. Daphne, would you like to read that one?
Yeah, it's going to be a winded one for me, so bear with me on it. Okay, so this person says, try calling God quote-unquote source, and see how it feels, as we all came from the same energy source that some refer to as God. Wording is personal, but it's all the same thing. Spirituality is the relationship with your own soul. That's it. Your soul is a piece of source energy. A lot of people in here believe this, not religion. There are many gods. Jesus isn't the only one. I'm not religious, even questioned about Jesus while growing up because the Bible makes no sense to me. I'm spiritual, and I've died and met Jesus. But God is a term of a higher power. It's whatever you believe in. To me, the Bible is a book of morals made by man to control society and instill fear. But as far as religion to get into heaven, if that were the case, then how would anyone get into heaven? Every religion has its own beliefs. Which one is the right one? To believers of those religions, they are the righteous religion. It's whatever you believe in. Do you believe in heaven or the afterlife? Because that's all that really matters in my experience.
Okay, a lot of good points in there. Now,
Yeah.
I noticed a theme, if you would, Daphne, with a lot of these. I notice just really kind of like listen for this common, some of these common elements. The one thing, like we mentioned earlier, is that there is no religion in heaven. You'll hear that. Mm-hmm. You have to understand what heaven is. But let me back up before I get too far ahead of myself here, and quote on that first part there. It says, "Try calling God source." Now, I've said it many times, and I'll say it again for those out there who are listening, and for us here, we have to understand what God is. God is a word that we use to describe something or someone, or and we have to understand how man has created gods in their image, not that God has created man in his image. So gods are typically personified. If you look at any kind of history of gods, a lot of them are put into human type form, So we have to understand, if God is all, then God can't be put in a human form. God cannot be personified, but God can be personified by every individual, because God's going to be something different to each and every individual. So if it's easier for some of us to comprehend God, from a human perspective, we may want to comprehend him in a human type form. Maybe not necessarily a human sitting on a throne, but some people do, but, in heaven, but a human type figure, whether it's a spirit type human, whatever. But it helps people to understand that idea of what we call God. Now, if God is what I understand as nature, which is everything that is real, everything that exists, everything. If you look out your window, and I'm not talking about, cars and trucks and cities and smog and that kind of stuff, but nature, nature, things that are natural, things of the earth, this is what God is. This is where we came from, and this is where the actual understanding or the root word God came from, the Egyptian word nature, So it really depends on what your idea of God is.
Right. I like tying in with that, what you are. It says your soul is a piece of source energy, and I had just commented on that from the last comment. And this person gets that. This person knows that. This resonates with that person from their experience. It resonates with me. And hopefully it's resonating with the listeners, because it's not about religion that we're seeing from the NDEers' points of views, that they have discovered and been revealed to them that, God is a term of a higher power, and it's whatever you believe in. And like the Bible is a book of morals to be made to control and instill fear.
Yeah, that's actually, I got a sidetrack there, but one of the main things I wanted to comment on earlier about the theme, Daphne, if you would listen to all of these, how they talk about how spirituality and religion aren't the same, and how religion was used to create this control, this power thing.
Exactly.
So how do you create control? Well, you have to control everything from your concept of God, and I'm not even going to go down that rabbit trail, how even Jesus came into play as far as the one that's, in the Bible now. It came from the actual historical person, so.
Yeah, and I like the way this person brought the question out, as far as religion is concerned, if that's the case, then how would anyone get into heaven?
Right.
How could you? Because according to the Bible, we're all sinners, so nobody's fitting. But that's why they have that deity created that your salvation is external from your own self.
Even heaven, as a human construct, I would think, a concept, why is it all about getting to heaven? Think about that. I mean, is that not what a lot of these religions teach? Why does it have to be about that? Why not be, there's only one life, and you've been here since the beginning, if you are part of Source, okay?
Exactly.
You've been through many incarnations, and you'll keep on going through different many changes and things like that.
I've read too that, with you saying that, it reminded me that I have read that we are all extensions of source energy, because source energy can create all these things but couldn't experience life here. So we were created to be able for source energy to experience things on this plane, in this universe, in this reality, so that we can take that back to the source and it continue to grow and learn from experience here.
Absolutely. That's like you being with your children and experiencing things from them that they're learning and their little worlds that they're building, or even as they grow up into adults and young adults, and you can take part in that. Of that, just like Source is taking part of us as his children or its children. Everything that we do can be going back and feeding Source. I guess,
with you saying that, and having gone over these the statements and answers to the question, someone actually touches on that, and we'll get to it in just a little bit. But following up to the next comment, this one was one of my favorite ones in reading it. All the answers, because for me, this is what I've come to realize just about my relationship with Source, with God, with life.
Right.
It says, live your life, be kind, be your beautiful self and free, and you've got nothing to worry about. You are exactly where you're meant to be.
Exactly.
And when you can be kind to others, I mean, that's going to just give you such joy and happiness in your life.
You nailed it, because now you're tapping into the universal law.
Exactly.
You're tapping into the cause and effect, reaping what you sow. Remember on a previous episode where we talked about all the different cultures that talks about do unto others,
Yes,
and
exactly.
this reminds me of
the golden rule.
Absolutely. Like it says right here, live your life, be kind, be your beautiful self, be free. So you said it. The main thing is, do what you want to do in life. Okay, don't hold
harm
back.
No soul,
but harm no one, and always remember that you are part of that no one as well. So many people overlook that. They think about, well, I don't want to hurt that person, or I don't hurt that person. Well, what about yourself? You may not be harming any other soul, but you could be doing things that's harming yourself. You can be harming yourself physically. You can be harming yourself mentally, spiritually. I mean, abuse comes in all different forms. It's not just out there when you apply the term harm no one. Harm means harm none. That's what harm means. And then that includes yourself as well.
Exactly. We're here, and I've recently discovered this and believe this just from reading these NDEs and their experiences. But we are here to grow as a soul, to grow as a spirit. But because of the game that we play, like when we come into this realm, we forget who we are, all of our powers, all of our source energy, all of our knowledge. We forget everything and get caught up in the physical, the story of you, who you are, and forget all of that. So we're here
ego.
Exactly. Hello, ego. So that's edged God out. So we have to grow as a soul. So there's lessons here to help us grow. And then if you're so caught up in the story, you're not going to grow. You're just going to be stagnant.
Yeah. Very well said. Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, so good. Moving along, this next one, it's all man-made. Okay, keep that in mind, those elements, about religion. Okay?
Exactly.
One is that it's what? Man-made. It was created to control. It's got nothing to do with God or source or reality. Yeah. But that's one of those common elements. So it says it's all man-made. Here it goes. Fear-mongering.
Instilling fear.
No worries. Our energy, consciousness will continue to the next realm. Perhaps some may need more schooling at that point than others to reach their highest potential.
What was we just talking about?
Yeah.
Growing as a soul. Yeah. We have to grow as a soul.
You keep growing. Would you like to take the next one?
Yes, this one is beautiful. And this one, you can take it to the book if you so want to. But God is love. Nothing to do with religion. Religion divides people.
There's that element again, okay? Listen to how many people say that religion divides, okay? So you don't want to be a part of religion if religion doesn't exist on the other side, okay? Regardless of what that religion is, all right? And you have to understand what God is and that you are God, and that if God is love, then you are love. Then all you have to do is love. No, all you have to be is love. I mean, really. If you can be love, you don't do love. You just be love.
I love the way Suzanne Giesemann puts this, what love is. No, I'm sorry, life is. Love in full expression.
Yeah, there you go.
Love in full expression.
Nice acronym.
So that is good, yes.
I love that.
And tying right on into the next comment, it's so with the one you just said. We are born into this world, then leave it the same. Religion is a man-made construct to create control.
There you go again.
Sadly, it does quite well. It doesn't mean it's the correct, though. Rise above tribal mentality and believe in what you know is true for you. That is so well said.
Nice. Very nice. Yeah. Again, I see that part again we mentioned earlier. That common element, religion is a man-made construct to create control.
Exactly, yeah. And when I was in religion, when I was going to church, I fully believed in it. I fully was happy in my walk. But I have grown beyond the need to sit down and have somebody else spoon feed me and give me sermons. I can learn and grow on my own spiritually.
Right.
I don't have to have someone to do that for me. I mean, a lot of people, if you really ask them why they go to church, what are some of their answers? And I was guilty of this. Social, to be social, to hear the singing, because a lot of churches really don't get into their Bible.
A lot do, though.
But a lot do, so yeah.
And there are those there for that
What's your reasoning for going to that brick and mortar place?
Right. But you have to have it in your soul to begin with to go there for that. You can't be a hypocrite. You can't go to church, be one thing, and then, leave church and go be somebody else,
Right.
And that's a whole different subject. I don't even want to go down that avenue.
Right.
The point is, it doesn't matter what religion you claim to be a part of as long as you are living in harmony with what is natural or what is nature or what is God, which is love.
Living the golden rule.
Yes.
Exactly. Okay, so you want to take this next one?
Sure. Okay. Next comment. I believe in God. He is our Father, and He loves us and treats us like His children. So, if you are a non-believer, that doesn't mean anything to Him. Imagine your own child being raised by your ex, and your ex doesn't even acknowledge that you exist. So the child grows up without knowing you. Do you dislike the child? Do you punish the child? No, because you love your child, just like God loves all of us, good or bad, religious or not religious. Now, we are all His children. So if you don't see how there is a God or just don't believe, it really just means that He has lost contact with you. And when your time comes to an end on earth, God will throw you the biggest celebration since He finally can be with you again. Like the lost child finally found. But please remember, you do not have to wait until then to get to know Him. you still have time to learn about him now. God bless. Praying for the best for all of you.
Yeah, and that's beautiful. I mean, I love the way the little illustration they used here, about our own children.
Yeah.
And that is what we have said many times, we are an extension of God.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And if God is love, why does he want to torture you? I can't think of any of my kids, or torment.
Torment.
But a lot of people believe in torture with that torment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
eternal.
Eternal
I
torment.
can't think of any of my grandchildren or any of my children, giving
any of my children.
Age away here again, wanting to punish them for mistakes that they've made. I mean, that's how we learn. That's how we do things. Sometimes we intentionally do things, Yeah. That's between you and the source, how that's going to be dealt with. It's not for others to tell you what your destiny is going to be.
Right. Now, I like to use the illustration in tying in with children here. You have set rules in your household and things for your children to follow. If they get out of line and are not adhering to those set of rules that you have set, are you going to take that child or anyone in your family and hold their hand over a fire to punish them because they didn't follow your rules?
Right.
I mean, how loving is that? I mean,
and what's worse is when the man, pardon the interruption, puts God in a box and makes God into like we think.
Exactly. Get out of the box.
So
throw the box
if you
away.
won't do that to your own child, why do you want to even think about a God who is source is love? What we call, God is love. Mm-hmm. How can you put that in a box and say that it's going to do that?
Exactly. So, and I really like the way that this person put it, regardless of whether you're religious or not religious, whether you're good or bad, God's source loves all of us. We are his children. And, we just have to have that connection with him to learn who that higher source power is and have that relationship with him. And also the way that when your time comes to an end on earth, God's going to throw you, source energy is going to throw you that biggest celebration. Just like in the Bible when the prodigal son returned home. He threw the greatest celebration for him in the return.
About,
yeah, so, you think about it like that lost child finally found. It's beautiful, the way that this person put this. And we have to remember we don't have to wait until we transition to get to know that person or the source.
Very good point. Very good point. Now, and I like how you said source, because if you notice, this comment was leaning more towards the masculine, and he kept talking about father and he and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's never forget about mother as well.
Right.
What we would call mother, that balanced energy of the Elohim. Mother and father. So, really is what we call the source. Just kind of keep that in mind, because I know the Bible does that a lot, and a lot of people do that. They keep everything more in the masculine, but
right.
we got to remember mother as well, mother and father. That's our spiritual, and it's also Mother Earth for our bodies, So anyway, next one here says that, I like this one here, says that God gives us free will. There's the key to all of it, guys. It does not get involved at all in how we live or the repercussions of our actions. Our lives were not meant to be lived how we currently do. We have forgotten who we are at the soul level, and because of ego, we have let go of pure, unconditional love. More and more people are awakening, though, and there is a shift happening. But it will take many more years of cleansing our systems of power before we get there. Any comments on that, Miss Daphne?
Yeah, I love this. You're going to hear me say it, all the time about the Remember book, that source energy, God giving us free will, and then coming here. And I love the fact that this person says that, it, talking about source energy, God, doesn't get involved at all in how we live or the repercussions of our actions. We are here to live and experience.
Yeah, I noticed that he did use that it instead of a he. It kind of ties in what we were talking about earlier.
Exactly.
A lot of times people refer to God as a he. This, if you're referring to a source, which is both masculine and feminine.
Exactly.
It, I guess, would be a proper, one to use there. So.
Yes, I know. And, this so resonated with me when I read this. Because of having read the Remember book, right here, the person stated that we have forgotten who we are at the soul level. And because of ego. Exactly. We have let go of pure unconditional love. Amazing that all of these talk about that source energy being pure unconditional love.
Yes.
But more and more people are waking up to this. So,
and I like that, how
yes.
they brought that out as well. And it's true. I was going to say the next one kind of really ties in with the other one. The first words out of their mouth, God gives everyone what? Free will.
Exactly, yes.
Which is the same one the previous one said. And it says it's how people choose to live their lives. It's all choice, okay? If you want to do good, just don't be worried about being tortured and being burned in hell and trying to condemn other people because of their beliefs. Just live a good life.
Exactly.
Love others. That's all you got to do. Love. Make the right choices in life. You don't have to worry about the other side, on what you're going to experience. But whatever you plant, here's where you plant the seed. Okay, you plant your seed of your eternal here on earth. Okay, so you're going to have to, whatever you plant here as far as experiences and how you interact with others, those are your seeds you're planting. When you get on the other side and when you're dealing with like what we call the life review, say for example, guess what? All the seeds get to sprout. And
you get to feel full force what you've done to others.
You get to harvest your garden. You harvest at the life review. You harvest your garden. I want you to really think about that because, and all you have to do is plant good seeds, guys. That's exactly. All. You don't have to believe in this and believe in that and do all this. And no. Live a good life. Love and don't harm another.
Yes.
And plant seeds of kindness, love, and peace.
Exactly, and that's exactly what this person commented on. The person said, talking about source or God energy, said he only wants us to love each other. And that's what we're supposed to do, living out that golden rule. But evil does exist in people. Not that it's an other thing, but it's in us.
It's in us. And Jesus said that in the book of the Nazarenes. He said that the devil is in all of us. We are all that dark, that we all have evil in us because you can't have good in you if you don't have evil. But you get to choose which one you want to use. Like
the Native American tale.
To walk in the light.
The tale of the two wolves.
Yeah.
Which one are you going to feed, the good one or the bad one?
Yeah. Which one has the most influence over you? The black wolf or the white wolf? One representing, the bad, the dark, the other one representing the light and the good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was told whichever one you feed the most.
Exactly. And it's so true. So, it really is.
Yeah.
But, just going right on to the next one, it really doesn't matter if there are one or many gods. God, Jesus, does not care which is the best religion in the world, and religion is not important. But he cares how we treat others. Jesus said, if you don't believe in God, Jesus, then clear and okay, but don't judge others.
Interesting. Yeah, interesting. So, again, I see the element of no religion on the other side. The source does not care about religion.
Exactly. Religion doesn't carry over.
But it does care how you treat others.
Yes.
Remember, that's what we said earlier. Remember, love all, do as you please, but harm none, including yourself. That's how you treat others, including yourself.
Right. I like this one too. It says you definitely don't have to believe to go to heaven. It's where we all go. It's back home.
There you go. Yeah. You hear that so much. We're just here experiencing life and learning and doing what we can do. And we go back to that source when we cross over, transition.
Yeah.
Well, this next one here says that I don't ever refer to this energy source as God. That implies worship. Worship is never mentioned in near-death experiences.
Think about that.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a really
like that
powerful
one.
comment.
Let's talk about that one a little bit. Yeah, that has some really good points in it. So,
yeah, wow.
So once you create a God, you create something that can be worshipped.
You have to bow down to.
That's right. And if you can control the God, you can control the people. And that's what happened with Christianity, okay? Not to say that there was not an original group of pure, enlightened souls, okay?
Right.
Including, Yeshua or Jesus, that the early ones. But later on, look into, Constantine, look into the Council of Nicaea, where the Jesus man was created. And look at the Nicene Creed. They told you what was going to happen, and they created the Jesus of the Bible that people worship today. Okay, but they took a lot of the moral stories of history and other different religions and kind of attributed all of that to this particular person. So.
Right.
But now, if you control the person or you control the God, you control the people. You see how that works? Well, you're going to burn in hell. You're going to be tortured because you're not accepting my belief system. You're not going to bow down and listen to what I've got to say with my dogma, my doctrine. Okay?
Ego.
Absolutely. Okay. So, but guess what? I got to tick it out. We've got the man that will intervene and keep you from going to hell and burn and torture forever, but you're going to have to worship him. You see?
Right.
So they created a God out of man.
Right.
And the whole world has been affected by that. Why do you think the world's in the shape it's in now?
Exactly. And literally after reading this comment and thinking back to all the accounts that I have read, all the episodes we have done and listened to through our review section, it is so true. Worship is never mentioned in the first NDE.
Never.
So when you refer to that energy source as a God, that is implying that you have to worship it. And that's not the case. And that's beautiful that religion doesn't matter. You don't have to worship something.
Right. And all you got to do is your research and history of religion. It all has its roots.
Yeah.
Even Christianity has its roots.
And like this next one, the afterlife is for all of us, religious or not.
Absolutely, because we all are source, regardless of our belief system.
Exactly. Yeah.
You see, religion is a belief system. That's an individual thing.
Right.
It's not a truth. You see, nature is a truth. You can step out in this yard, and we can lean up against this tree. I can hug that tree. I can touch that tree. I can look at the leaves on the tree. It's a tree. It's real. It's nature. It's a truth. That is real. Okay. Religion can create all of these characters, all of these gods, all of these rules, all of these regulations. It's got nothing to do with reality.
Right.
The reality is, yes, you have to do unto others as you would want them to do to you. Love all, treat others and all with love, kindness, and respect. Okay, and harm none, harm no one, including animals.
Exactly.
All people, including yourself. That's
right.
That's all there is to it.
Yeah, and just continuing right on with these, it says, don't worry about religion. It's just a fancy word for cult. Don't stop being kind, because that will matter in the end and nothing else. Like we was just saying. I mean, it's so beautiful.
And this is coming from all different sources. You can tell this is not just coming from me or just coming from you. This is from all different sources. So this is harmony. We're all in sync.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say, is this, the NDEers come back saying the same thing. It is truth and unity in these accounts, so therefore I can change my belief systems, because that's what we're here to do, is change our belief systems to grow and to learn and live and love and help others. But right here, it says that religion is just a fancy word for cult. And looking back and having been through the different denominations of the church, the different indoctrinations of each church, the Jehovah's Witnesses group. I mean, when you come out of these things and really do the research for what a cult is, Christianity and Jehovah's Witnesses, they all fall under that, because it's a control.
Yeah.
And they have a book that you have to follow with the guidelines for.
Right.
Get out away from that and live and be the best person that you can be and love others. Be good to yourself and everything else. And life is going to be a whole lot better.
And so many people say the same thing. It's how you live, how you treat others.
Exactly, yes.
And this is actually what Jesus taught. Jesus did not teach what Christianity teaches.
Exactly.
Now, this next one here says that you don't have to be religious to believe in God.
Exactly.
Okay. I, too, know many religious people that don't do the right thing, etc. Religion is just man-made to control us. Let's break that down. There's a few good elements in there, Daphne. Of course, the same element of religion is made to control. But what about that one? I know too many religious people that don't do the right thing.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, it's not about religion. That's the point of all this. You don't have to be in a set religion to
believe in a certain religious belief or believe in a certain person that people tell you that you have to believe in. No.
Exactly.
No, you don't. You have to live in harmony with life and nature, what is real, keeping it real, and that is to love and to be in balance with all that you do and to harm none.
Exactly. And, I'm going to flow right on into the next comment about the contradictions in the book written by don't know who just make me think religions could be created by human for some brainwashing. This is how I feel, so no religion for me. Work on building our character is more crucial.
It's the same thing that Jesus taught.
And that's what so many of these NDEers are stating just in this one post. I mean, it is about loving.
That's right.
It is about being good to others. You don't have to be in a set religion to do that. Now, if you're in a set religion and you're doing that, yay, I'm so glad, I'm so happy. You be blessed in your journey. But it's not the only way. And don't condemn others that are on a different walk.
Right. That's the key. Work on yourself. Get that rafter out of your eye so you can see how to get the straw out of other people's eyes. And once you do that, there's a whole world ahead of you that you haven't been seeing because you've only been able to filter life through one filter. And if you think that's the only way to be, then you'll only stay at that level for the rest of your life. Mm-hmm. But until you understand and know these masters like Jesus, Yeshua, and and Krishna and Buddha and all these, they taught us how to live, how to treat others, how to be God, for lack of words, which is love, how to be loving.
Exactly.
That's how you can say that you are God is if you are living in love.
Exactly. And that's the next comment. Just live a good life and be caring. That's what is important, not religion or being religious.
Live a good life and be caring, yes, but harm none.
Exactly.
That's the key. Next one. I don't think God cares too much about religious belief systems, only that we love one another, be kind to others, and to ourselves. I think it's more about choosing growth through love and compassion. Mm-hmm. My opinion? Why would God throw you in a world with blinders on, shuffle your innocence through a system of dog-eat-dog, and then add an invisible bad guy to trip you up every step of the way? And if you didn't believe in a specific dogma, of which there are thousands, he would throw you in the trash. Maybe it's not so much about believing in Jesus and more about believing the message of love that Jesus encouraged. This person gets it. Why would God care if you choose love? Because you are loved and God desires you to be happy and to live a happy life. Believe in love. And
love is the true religion. Exactly.
Yes.
This person brought that out beautifully. Yay.
And this is what Jesus taught.
Yes.
This is what all of these people taught.
Yes. And that so resonates with my spirit, my soul now, other than the religious dogma. Yeah. My soul and my spirit thrive, and I feel so good and happy to be able to get up and live and love in this world now. When I was in religion, I was kind of a depressed person.
Well, let me repeat that one line because it is so powerful, and we'll move on to our final one. We got one more left here. that one line there that says that maybe, and this is to everybody out there listening, okay? Believers, non-believers,
Yes.
Christians, whatever, whoever, it doesn't matter, okay? Maybe it's not so much about believing in Jesus and more about believing the message of love
That Jesus,
that Jesus
encouraged.
encouraged.
Yes.
Okay, take that, please, and meditate, and and however you can feed on it and grow from that spiritually, because
Yes.
that is a gem.
It is,
And the
yes.
very, very last one here, Daphne. I guess we'll go ahead and wrap it up. It says, "I don't believe in religion, but I have died before, and I know for a fact that we do go somewhere when we die. I've seen it. It's beautiful. In 2012, I saw my brother, who died before I was born.
Oh, wow.
I saw and heard my granny, who died in 1997. Don't worry about religion. Everyone is entitled to their own beliefs." That's a good one that's a very good one to wrap it up on. Yeah. Don't worry about what religion you're in. I mean, if it works for you, and like we always say, if it makes you a better person, okay?
Exactly, yeah.
Then by all means, absolutely.
Right.
Go that way.
This guy says that he saw his brother, who he didn't even know he had, who had died before he was born. He said, and he saw him. So right there is somebody that you're not even aware of, but is there, and you knew it was your brother.
You knew it. Think about that.
Exactly.
Wow.
And I'm going to say this. My mother had a miscarriage between me and my brother. I'm the youngest, so I would have had an older sister or an older sibling other than my brother.
An older sister.
Yes.
You do.
I do, yes. And I was meditating on that one day, and my spirit, my energy source kind of led me to that it was a female, a sister. So I'm thinking about that now, and it's like, I have a sister out there, and I'll get to see that sibling when I transition. Yeah. So that ties in with, family members that you really don't know you have, but when you have those NDEs and come back having those memories of your NDE, there's people there that you didn't even know existed. So it's like soul families.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing. So
yeah,
definitely, really some good points in here. And again, we thank everybody for these comments and things like that. We don't use people's names for their own privacy and things like respect for that. But all we're doing is just grabbing questions and commenting on them. Like I said, this wasn't our question, but it is a good question.
It is, yeah.
To consider. And there were some really good comments. I'm glad we covered this today.
Yes, exactly. I mean, and it's really not about religion, but I mean, if you're in a religion
that
then
makes you do better, then it's a good thing.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. Just be the best you can be. Love all, judge none.
And harm none. Yeah, and as a concluding thought, this person said it well, that everyone is entitled to their own beliefs. Every single one of you guys out there, every single human in this world. Okay?
Right. Who are we to judge anybody?
None of us are in a position to judge or to condemn or to point a finger. No, you can't. Everyone is entitled to their own beliefs. Accept it, roll with it, work on being the best person that you can be.
Right. And what's coming to my mind is one of our previous episodes. I think we did some questions, but it said all are welcome on the other side.
That's right.
So we can't set that, okay, this is going to be who makes it, who don't make it to that other side, because
Ego.
all
Human.
go there.
That's a human thought kicking in.
Yeah. That's that spirit's home.
That's right.
Our soul's home is not here.
No.
We are not this physical avatar, this machine that will pass, that will break down and not
Go back
work
to Mother
anymore.
Earth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Separate your mindset from being this physical body, because you're more than this physical body.
And look at yourself more as the life force that's emanating that body.
Exactly.
You.
These bodies are beautiful no matter what size you come in. It is
shape, size, color.
Yes. None of that matters. You are a beautiful soul. Everyone on this planet is beautiful.
Yes.
I love that. And when I look around and see people now, it's just like my heart just grows and like, oh my gosh, this is my brother. This is my sister.
Same way.
I mean, I just have a totally different view of people
humanity
and life now.
Yeah, very well said. And I can so totally relate.
Yeah, for the NDE WORLD, we have the comments section there. a contact form for if you want to be a guest on the podcast. Also, our different services that we offer as well. So definitely check that out and reach out to us. We love hearing from you guys.
A lot of people
appreciate
don't know.
You all.
Pardon the interruption. You just made me think of it. But a lot of people don't know that we also offer book publishing services. You know, there are a lot of people out there who has had NDE experiences and don't know how to get the information. But go to NDE world. You know, there is information on there as well. I don't know if we've ever put a plug in for that, but you know, we do publish books as well. You know.
Yeah, help promote them and everything too.
Yeah, we can help you guys out any way, you know, that we can.
We're here to help each other as souls on this planet, and a lot of people are so caught up in the what's in it for me, and it's not about that. It's that love, that sharing, and helping others to help you grow as a soul.
All are one and one are all.
Yeah, like the Three Musketeers.
Yes. We love you all, guys. Thank you so much, and may peace be with you all. Till next time.
Yeah, let your light shine.
For information about the NDE World Podcast, visit NDE.world. That's NDE.world.